The WNBA and its never-ending drama just continues to go on day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. This is the third year, and we are still into the nonsense that started well before Caitlin Clark got here, and we'll get into that today. But for the meantime, the Indiana Fever beat the Aces last night, 84-68. I only made it through a quarter and a half before I went on about my day. I just wasn't very interested in what I was seeing on the court. But shout out to the Indiana Fever. They did what they were supposed to do. Honestly, I felt like they was going to win. If you just look at the last game before this one, the Aces struggled to beat the Chicago Sky. They had to go to overtime without Aja Wilson. So it looks like the Aces do struggle without Aja Wilson. That kind of what happens when your team is built around your superstar instead of your superstar being, I don't know, plugged into a system, right? So, but Indiana Fever won 84-68. There's not much there to talk about. What I do want to talk about is the WNBA and the WNBA media that they employ, hire, pay, right? And all the fake news, the misinformation, just a whole bunch of nonsense that has gone on in the WNBA. And it all started well before Caitlin Clark got into this league, like I said before. So let's just hop right into it. Let's get into some of the things that if you don't know, right, if you for whatever reason are not as in tune with what's going on, if you don't know, maybe this video will help you connect the dots on why the WNBA is just entrenched in the nonsense and the agenda, and it seems like basketball is far off from the front of their minds. And honestly, maybe this video will help you understand that basketball has never been on the front of their minds. Here we have May 2024, May 3rd to be exact. We have the WNBA doing what, a professional league probably is supposed to do. When you have a star coming into the league, you're supposed to, say it with me, promote that star, right? But here we have the WNBA Twitter. May 3rd, 2024. This is a preseason game, right? So we had the WNBA tweeting out, let's start this season off right. Indiana takes on Dallas for the first preseason matchup of the year. Download the WNBA app for free access to tonight's game, blah, blah, blah. And at the bottom of the post, you see a picture of Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston. Though I think her last name Evans, don't really know who that is. And of course, this is Agumawale, who's a good player. She trunks up a lot of shots, but when she's on, she's on. So here we have the WNBA promoting a big time matchup, a matchup that everybody will be tuned in for. We just know that by saying the draft received over 3 million views, the largest viewership in WNBA history for just a WNBA draft. So kudos to them. They promoting their superstar. Up top, we have Cheryl Reeve, who is, I'll be honest, she is a great coach. She is a great coach. You see that, Cheryl Reeves? I can be honest. She's a great coach. She says a lot of outlandish things, as you will see here, but she is a good coach. So Cheryl Reeves took it upon herself to repost that post and says this. Also in action, Minnesota Lynx versus the Chicago Sky. Though fans won't be able to watch, sarcasm, Lynx fans can go to the Link app to follow along via play-by-play, or if you're in the market, come to the game. As we start the season off right, she's just been petty on petty on petty. And then she hashtags 12 teams and hashtag the WNBA is more than one player. We already see what's going on, right? The WNBA never accepted this woman for bringing in the national media attention, for bringing in the fan base. They have always, even before she played her first WNBA game, they have always pushed out narratives, pushed out agendas. For whatever reason, the WNBA couldn't accept that the product on the floor wasn't good enough for the consumption of fans. They have never accepted that. And that is the problem. That is the problem with this league. And what we're going to see later on in this video, if I missed it, I'm pretty sure you missed it. As Indiana Fever fans, the Indiana Fever took on the same attitude. They never accepted it. We're in one ear, out the other, because we was excited about seeing Caitlin Clark, but they made it plain. They made it plain that the Indiana Fever made it plain that they had the same mindset. You have players discrediting Caitlin Clark's greatness, right? This woman came into the league as a rookie, was fourth in MVP votes, broke over 62 records. We all seen that WNBA and rookie records. And you have players discrediting her online, saying all she does is shoot threes. She doesn't really do anything else. As we see here, Sydney Carter, after the blading foul that she pushed Caitlin Clark in the back, pretty much ran her over like she was playing football. I don't need to show that here. But then after the game, the reporters tried to ask her questions about the incident and what happened. She refused to ask questions. She refused to answer questions, but then went online and stated this. And that's that on that, because besides 3-point shooting, what does she really bring to the table? Well, I'll tell you what she brings to the table, Sydney Carter. She brings assists. She brings 3-point shooting, like you said. She brings fast pace. She brings excitement. She brings viewership. She brings revenue. She brings national media attention. There's a lot she brings to the table outside of 3-point shooting. And if you're going to say 3-point shooting, I would prefer you to say logo 3-point shooting. Logo 3-point shooting is what caused her fan base to grow as rapidly as it did. So we see, and that's not the only case. We've seen plenty of cases where players have went out their way to talk about her game in a negative way, like talk about why they deserve the things that she has. We've seen the commissioner of the league in a private conversation, like I put in my other video, state that Caitlin Clark was lucky to have the WNBA or she wouldn't make the money she made. And this how ridiculous that statement is. Caitlin Clark made over $3 million in her college career. I believe it's 1 year, maybe her whole college career, or maybe just her senior year. But she made over $3 million in NIL money alone. This without all the other stuff. And before this new CBA, the highest paid WNBA player in their career was Brittany Griner. She made $2.7 million in 12 years. She made $2.7 million in 12 years. Caitlin Clark made $3 million, and I'm going to say 1 to 3 years. And you have the commissioner saying that she's lucky for the WNBA. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You make your own. You make your own judgments on what's going on there. But like I said, we have all been fooled by this organization. The Indiana Fever had the same mindset as the WNBA, as Cheryl Reeves, as Sydney. I ain't gonna say Sydney Carter, but they had the same mindset of, we're not gonna make this about basketball. What do I mean? Right here we have Amber Cox. After her introductory press conference when she got hired by the Indiana Fever, she said something very interesting that I didn't catch at the time, but I caught now. Tell me what you think.
Foot view, if you will, what's ahead, the inflection point for the league and for the franchise that you just touched upon. I mean, what about that excites you the most here?
Certainly, we're at this incredible inflection point, and it feels like for the rest of the world, the light switch has come on, and everyone now understands what we all know and love about the WNBA, how tremendous these players are on the court, but also what great people they are off the court. And I say it all the time, 1 through 12, we've got incredible stories to tell. And I think this spotlight gives us the opportunity to create even more of a platform for every single one of our players, not only on the court, but off the court too.
That's interesting, right? That's interesting. I think the Indiana Fever has never made this about basketball along with the WNBA. Everybody seems like they took this opportunity of Caitlin Clark and the fan base and the media attention that she brought to this league to promote their own agendas. They have never made this about basketball. Amber Cox, the light switch didn't cut on. It didn't. We was here for Caitlin Clark, and naturally, fans would have watched more games. Fans would have enjoyed more players. Fans would have took a liking to more players. Like me, myself, and I can say, Olivia Miles, dog. Paige Beckers, dog. Iowa Fam in Seattle, dog. That's natural. That's a natural reaction and natural habits of fans where they come into leagues or when they like teams, they'll take a liking to other teams. Y'all didn't give that no opportunity for it to happen naturally. Y'all wanted to push everything in the fans' face, everything in the media face. And let's be honest, if we go back and watch old videos, if you go watch a little bit of a video today, y'all couldn't accept that the product on the floor was not good enough for consumption. That is the basis, that is the gist of all this nonsense that has been going on for the past 3 years. Y'all will not accept that the product that the WNBA has put on the floor was not good enough for fan consumption. It was not good enough for fan consumption. And we know that. We know that because when NBA players have made suggestions in the past to how to get your game to be better, y'all call them haters. Y'all will say y'all been victimized, or y'all go into this victimhood mentality of, oh no, this, that, and the third. How dare you tell us about our game? Well, they're telling you about your game to help it improve so you can get fan consumption and so you can get more money. And so when Emma Cox said that the rest of the world can finally turn on the light switch and realize what we've been knowing for all these years, let me tell you something. We have heard of the WNBA. Most people have seen a game or seen clips or seen highlights of the WNBA. This isn't new to nobody. This isn't new. We have known about the WNBA. The issue was not about what y'all believe or the issue was not about what y'all do in y'all personal lives or anything like that. The issue was on the court. The issue was on the court. And y'all failed to realize that the product on the court was not good enough. And let me tell you, I'm so happy. The best thing Caitlin Clark could have done for her fans is come into the league and dominate. Because you know why? That proves that what was on the court wasn't good enough. Caitlin Clark coming into the league and dominating over 62 records, smashing records that has been in existence for 30 years in one season, in 10 games. That proves that the WNBA product on the court wasn't good enough. That proves it. Y'all will have love for this woman to come in the league and just be some average point guard, 9 to 10 points a game, 2 to 3 assists a game, 1 to 2 rebounds a game. Y'all would have loved that because y'all would have had the leg to stand on about people not watching the WNBA for the agenda. But y'all don't have no leg to stand on. Because this woman has came into the league and she has dominated and she has pretty much justified the fans and the media in saying what was on the court wasn't good enough. When the Indiana Fever made their hires, right? I won't lie, I was pretty excited when Stephanie White got hired, when Emma Cox got hired, Kelly Kroskov, when Lynn Dunn stayed, right? I was pretty excited. And I was like, yeah, we finally got some. I was reading the articles that was being written about how they had all this experience and this, that, and the third. They did that in the league, did that in the league. She did that in the NBA. I was excited, right? I was, let's go. Let's get some movement behind this team. Let's put some players on this team that will help out, will fit, will work together with our stars, right? Aaliyah, Kelsey, and Caitlin. I drunk the juice. What I didn't know is that they was just a part of the same old nonsense. They all was tied together. There was no hiring process for the next head coach. There was nobody to see, hey, what is your plans for this team? How would you run it? It was none of that. It was 3-4 women coming together with their own agenda. It was right in front of our faces. It was right in front of our faces. We didn't see it. This league has, from the Indiana Fever to the coaches, to the players, to the commissioner, this league has never accepted the product on the floor wasn't good enough. And so when a player came to this league and when it was about the product that she produced on the floor, they rejected it. Because if they accepted that Caitlin Clark was the face of the league because of the products she put on the floor, they would have had to accept that in the last 30 years, for the most part, and I'm not saying that there has not been good players. But I am saying that the players and the league as a whole has not put together a good enough product on the floor. They haven't accepted that. That's why they won't accept Caitlin Clark. Because it's about the product with Caitlin Clark. I know there's trolls out there who are going to attach themselves to her and make it about something else. But this is about the WNBA. This is about y'all. This is about y'all. I'll say this. Y'all are lucky Caitlin Clark doesn't take the position of, I am the face of the league. Y'all lucky Caitlin Clark doesn't take the position of, nobody came to see you, Otis.
Nobody's bigger than the group.
Y'all ain't stupid. I'm the one selling the records. They coming to see me.
They coming to see the Temptations.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You wish you could work it the way I do. But you can't. Because there is only one David Ruffin.
At this point, that's how I feel Caitlin Clark should go about herself. Now she won't because she's humble. She makes it about everybody else. But at this point, I'm almost at the point where Caitlin Clark needs to turn in to Otis. David Ruffin. Caitlin Clark needs to turn into David Ruffin. I'm almost at that point. Lastly, we go get into just a clip of just a compilation of just the WNBA players year after year not taking accountability and blaming everybody but themselves. Everybody but themselves and the WNBA for the product of the floor.
What is your message to the sporting industry about why women deserve to make just as much as men do?
Just wake up and realize that without women, where are we at?
When you're trying to accomplish something, there's one thing.
That's nasty work to say. That's nasty work. We are talking about basketball. I love my wife. I love my mother. We are talking about basketball. We're not talking about women and what they mean to the world. We're just talking about basketball. The product on the floor. Is it entertaining? That's all we're talking about. And the craziest stat line? You know the gender that supports the WNBA the most statistically is men. So women don't even support this league. I don't know. That's crazy work.
That is guaranteed to set you back. Entitlement. The feeling that you deserve something that you haven't earned or that someone else owes you something that they earned. This is one of the biggest problems plaguing the WNBA. The league has never turned a profit and is solely being funded by the NBA. Yet anytime someone like Draymond Green or Tracy McGrady makes suggestions to try to help the viewership of the WNBA,
imagine never turning a profit ever in the history of your existence. Never turning a profit, but blaming everybody but yourselves.
they get shut down. That was made perfectly clear when Draymond Green was attacked by multiple women for saying that they should stop complaining and take action in trying to gain viewership.
I'm really tired of seeing them complain about the lack of pay because they're doing themselves a disservice by just complaining.
They're not just complaining.
Huh?
They're not just complaining, really.
But they are, because they're not laying out steps that they can take to change that. Because the people that can change it, they're just going to continue to say, well, the revenue isn't there. The revenue isn't there. So if you don't bring in the revenue, we can't up your pay.
I think what I'm feeling is a lot of miseducation and ignorance.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to pretend that I know Draymond incredibly well, but in the conversations that we have had, I believe that he genuinely wants to see change. I think he is coming from a good place. He just said that at the end of the day, he and Megan Rapinoe want the same thing. But inherently, the problem here, George, is that we're sitting up here talking about Megan Rapinoe versus Draymond Green, and that's taking away from what we should be talking about, which is equal pay. Here's the thing. This cannot be done. It is not on the
equal pay. Equal for one. Equal to who? Like who? What do you mean equal pay to the NBA? That just won't happen. That just won't happen. Now I will say this: equal pay this argument may exist in another profession. I will back women until I can't back them no more if it fits. Like in the medical field, my wife is in the medical field. If for whatever reason, and I don't know the statistics on this, but I will ask her, if women in the medical field are not getting paid as much as men, that's an issue. They can do everything men can do in the medical field, right? That's how that works. They shouldn't be getting paid less. They should be getting paid more or just as more or just the same as men because they can do everything men can do. In sports, that's just not true. Sports are a privilege, not a right, for one. Two, sports are driven by consumption, fan consumption. If fans are saying, hey, your product is not good enough, you don't generate enough revenue to pay yourselves more, it's not an equal rights discussion. It's not. And that's just the victimhood that I believe exists in the WNBA. The product on the floor is the issue. Fix the product. And now when you have a player whose product on the floor was good enough for fans to come in, you reject her.
To fix oppression. It has to be done with allies.
I know this woman that just say oppression.
Wait. Not on the oppressed, equal pay. Here's the thing. This cannot be done. It is not on the oppressed to fix oppression. It has to be done with allyship, which is where someone like Draymond Green, a man.
Do I even have to comment on that? I'm not even going to comment on that because I don't want to say anything crazy. But did she just say that the WNBA is under oppression?
Comes into a space that affects predominantly women. But the thing about being an ally is when you come into that space, you should be listening first, not talking first, because there is no one who understands better what these women are going through than these women. If you come into this space and say, okay, I'm going to listen, I'm going to take this feedback of what you've been living and what you've been experiencing, and then I'm going to then talk and then offer my ideas, perhaps even away from Twitter, because then it comes off like you're talking at somebody who's been going through something that's incredibly difficult for years and years and years, then maybe
y'all haven't been going. What should have been difficult is y'all improving the game. Y'all, the WNBA is this. If you don't know, this is why we are here. This is why we're here today, going through the same nonsense day after day. It's because this attitude, right? The WNBA and majority of the players, probably majority of the coaches, majority of the people in the front office thinks for the past 30 years they have been oppressed. And the fans are the oppressor. We oppress them by not watching their sport.
We can get to the point where women aren't making 80 cents to every dollar that a man makes. And by the way, that's white women.
And the same thing happened with Kelsey.
I don't know if she was bringing up statistic that for like worldwide in women versus men. Like I said, in certain professions and certain things, for sure, women needs to get paid just as much. Not in the WNBA. I think she said that out of context. I think she was being manipulative right there when she said that little last statistic.
I got a question, and this is not a shot at women in basketball.
Well, good, because you're going to be.
Whoa, no, listen, I had this talk. I think me and Rebecca Lobo had this talk during the Hall of Fame, and I was talking about doing something that gets, not your average fans, people that don't watch WNBA basketball. What can we do to get those fans to tune in? And I was like, why can't we lower the goal to at least 9.5 feet? Because I think for somebody that don't watch WNBA basketball, to have women dunking on other women would definitely bring more excitement to that game, and have, those guys that don't watch WNBA basketball tune in, and you get more fans that way.
I've been playing basketball on a 10-foot hoop my whole life. So to move it to 9.5, it's going to take a long time to get used to that. And then also, we're only playing basketball to dunk? I'm not sure.
No, you playing.
You just want to see me dunk on somebody? I don't know.
The skill level is off the charts in women's basketball.
Right.
But I think as far as bringing the entertainment.
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
Breonna Stewart, her reaction or her comment back to Tracy McGrady, that's another example of you are not understanding why your product is not consuming fans. A big part of the NBA and the entertainment value, because sports are entertainment, is the athleticism, the dunks. That is a big part of the NBA. That is a big part of why they generate so much revenue. That's a big part of why fans are consumed with the sport, because of dunks. So yes, Tracy McGrady's not the only one who said that. And every single time they take offense to it. It shouldn't be offensive. That's a big part of the NBA and the entertainment. So yes, if you lower the rim and y'all start dunking, right? Y'all start looking more athletic in comparison to the NBA, that will bring in more fans. It's entertainment. It's not that wasn't meant to down women. That like I don't get it. I don't understand. I hope this video helps anybody out there who didn't understand why the WNBA is just entrenched in all this drama. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if the WNBA is ever going to change. I think it just have to be a full rebuild situation as far as the people in the league, the front office. They have been entrenched in this victimhood mentality since the inception of the league. They won't accept Caitlin Clark because they won't accept that the product on the floor was not good enough. They won't accept it. It is what it is. I'm Jay Williams. This is the Sports Collective. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.